Welcome, Amit sir. Welcome to
Thank
Kya
you so
Haal
much.
Chaal.
Idea. So most people have great ideas, but they don't put value behind that idea. So when I use the term value doesn't mean money alone. Value means your commitment, your conviction, and to sustain your conviction to make that idea work. And that takes a whole lot of you.
The first thing was to acquiring client for जिसके लिए मैं बहुत धक्के खा रहा था. Finally मुझे एक client मिला. Now what should be the next steps of mine in order to go in the right way, and आप क्या follow, and also like if you can connect it with your steps कि like आप क्या करते जब आप एक client को onboard करते हो, and what are the first steps that you take, and if you have to advise me.
I have had clients, I have lost clients as well, but I would say our journeys were different. It's not about losing a client, it's about their expectation versus my approach of being a very comfortable treading through a journey of a client was not an acceptable model. Maybe their pace was faster than my pace, and I would salute and respect them for it. Right? Possible, because everybody's pace is different. So some people want quick money, fast money, quite fine. So they have their own comparison parameters. My approach may be, we faced a journey in our lives when probably we were your age, that we had internet coming in, right? And there was a catch line that when internet comes, most people, youngsters would lose their job. Right? So why I'm speaking this, because that's exactly what's happening right now when we perceive AI. And internet created a whole new lot of opportunities for the world. And India has been one of the
Welcome, Amit sir. Welcome to
Thank
Kya
you so
Haal Chaal.
much.
Welcome to Kya Haal Chaal. I've heard a lot about you. You have a lot of achievements, not just in the finance industry, but in education industry as well. Have got a lot of awards, have been recognized a lot. And what I have known about you from my network is that you are a man who is very much committed to his work, very much passionate, and very much far-sighted. So a lot of expectations I'm having with this conversation, that I'll be learning a lot, and that's why I'll have to be on the best game of mine as well, because today I will be learning about finance. I'll be seeing a new perspective and a new way to look at finance. So that is what I'm having in my mind, and I hope that today I and my listeners can derive the best of what you have, and we can be the best. So yes, with that thought only, we'll be starting today's conversation. First thing that I want to know is, how's your halchal?
Absolutely perfect. And good to see you smiling in front of me.
Likewise, it's fun to be here. It's exciting, and to be very honest, finance is such an industry जिसमें volatility भी है, जिसमें बहुत सारी नई चीजें सीखने के लिए, and every day you get to like experience something new, I'll say. And with the advent of different technologies, with the advent of different needs, and with the advent of new startups, I guess आज के डेट में finance is one of the most coveted topics, and especially wealth management, because I think that a lot of people are now getting to like aspiring to be rich. Some are getting rich, but when they reach at that point now, they don't know how to like use their funds or use their newly found wealth. So before going into that, the very first thing that I want to know from you, for our listeners, is that if you have to give us a short explanation about wealth management, what would that be?
So I think finance, as you rightly said, has become a little complex. It has become complex in the minds of people primarily because it is more to do with expectations and a combination of expectation and greed. So I think that is making finance complex. But if I go back to my childhood or my age while I was in school or college, and I looked at finance the way my father would look at finance, the way he taught me, that whatever you earn, you first save, invest, and then you spend. So I think the fundamental rule for finance remains simple and clear. Whatever you have, you need to first decide how much you want to save and invest, and then eventually you go forward and spend and enjoy, because that's equally important. Each age has its own advantages of enjoying the money that you hard earn, right? So second important aspect, why wealth management become more and more complex. We are a developing nation and we are globally interconnected, and so we see aspirations around the world, and so we also wish to do that. So primarily I think that's what I understand finance in a very basic and simple way for the people who listen to me. And yes, we will delve into it more in detail as we move forward.
When I was reading about you, so one thing that I was very interested about was that you were having this very great roots with education industry as well. As rightly mentioned, you were one of the franchise owners for Time. You're like one of the Times franchise owners, and you were also giving MBA. Like you were students were taking MBA coaching from your franchise. So I want to know that I want to know that during that point of time, I'm sure that somewhere that finance thing would be there in you, that okay, I'm doing this. How you got that interest for finance? Because you were pursuing education initially from 2012 to 2018. Then what was the reason for the shift from the industries? Was it already pre-planned or did something inspire you?
So let me go back to a journey very quickly. While I did my MBA and I was doing my summer project, my summer project was with one of the companies which was into financial services, exactly what I am doing today. And this goes back to the previous century, the last decade of previous century. And usually while you are in college and when you are exposed to a particular area, you have aspiration to be part of it. But by the time I completed my MBA, the world changed, and that particular organization was sold out to some other organization.
Okay.
And that made it difficult for me to really have the confidence at that age. Possibly I was your age then. To really take that as a area moving forward, because you see a small world without internet where you see the company you worked for 2 months is now sold out. So should we put a career across in that direction? And that's how I moved to corporate finance. I worked with General Motors, and wonderful experience over the 5 years. I traveled the world, India. But eventually, of course, I have been very passionate as an individual to connect with people and to train people. And that's how I moved on to an education industry. So I was in finance post my MBA for about 5 years. And then I moved on to my MBA aspirant journey. But very importantly, there was something behind in my mind that I need to go back to something which I loved to do while I was a student. And maybe, so as you said, yes, it was there subconsciously. And it became conscious as I moved forward in a particular education journey. When I saw many students, more than 15,000 students, got engaged. I got engaged with them and I went through their journeys. It was a wonderful experience of life. And then I moved on to a new area, which usually happens with people. So I did the same.
And also, I want to know just one thing from you. That is, over the years, I'm sure that you were having some perception about finance, or in particular, in general, about money. That okay, like when you were in your college days, I'm sure that your perception towards money would have been different than compared to today. So I want to know about that shift, that during your initial days, what was your expectations from the finance industry, and generally what is the, and also I want to you to like shed a bit of light on what is the expectations of students who are aspiring to be in this industry, like what expectations they are having. And because there are so many different things to choose from, ranging from blockchain to stock market to wealth management and so many things, how can one channel and choose one particular field like you did for with wealth management? So I want to know about that. That what was your expectations and how can one, like navigate and select that one thing that they want to become an expert of in the finance industry.
So it's a question which doesn't have a tailor-made answer, to be very honest. And people in the age group, while they are starting their journey of getting into the workforce, whether as an entrepreneur or whether as working for somebody, it's a very difficult phase of life. The kids, usually I would call them kids now, but the kids would always show a brave face, and they will always show to the world as a mask that they know a lot, but behind that mask they are absolutely afraid, and that fear gets completed when they get into some path. They explore that path. Many times they fail, many times they succeed, and if they succeed, they choose that path and they claim that this was a path chosen by them before they actually delved into it. So I would really put it this way: don't fear, explore, don't mind a year or two lost in exploring, but get to a correct path which is liked by you, where you feel you can put in more value through your potential, and you can carry it forward for 10, 20, 30 years ahead. So I think I would not say go through a path called blockchain, go through a path called banking, go through a path called insurance, go through a path called wealth management. I am not the right person, or maybe I would say nobody is the right person to say that you do this. It is you who has to decide what you can do. And that's my way of looking at it. And that's how we get unicorns. That's how we get new entrepreneurs, new startups coming up, and successful big names coming up, because they went through what they like to do, right? So that's how I would put at the situation.
Okay, and no, that's interesting, and I guess that's a very great takeaway for everyone, because in today's day and age we are having so many options served on the table for us that we are bound to get confused. Like यहाँ पे finance है, यहाँ पे management है, यहाँ पे social media marketing, and there are so many industries, especially finance being like for such a long period of time, and now getting even more and more attention. I guess it's bound to happen, but I guess this is a very great message for everyone, for all the young students as well, to go through, to listen to, and to follow. So yes, and but also, sir, I have seen this one thing. Like right now in my college, we have got this project where we have to, we have to make our own e-commerce business, and we have to, operate it, run it. And doing that project, I realized that it is, when we say now that, okay, we want practical projects, our education system should promote more practical projects and approaches. सुनने में ये बहुत आसान लगता है, but when you actually get into it, you understand that from ideation to sales, everything takes a lot of management, lot of financial skills, lot of money management stuff, and everything. And उस तक भी पहुंचने के लिए firstly you have to get through sales. So sir, this is just one small example that we have experienced. If I have to ask for all the new budding entrepreneurs, like their perception towards money is like what I think as a part of this generation, as a part of Gen Z. I think that all of us are having this perception that if our idea is solid, money will come along. All we have to do is कि excellence के पीछे भागो, success झक मार के आएगी. But somewhere I feel that it's not the right way to look at it, because when I listen to the experienced investors like Nikhil Kamath or Nitin Kamath, they say that if your industry is boring, you're bound to make more money out of it. So in the initial stage, for any students, for any entrepreneurs, from your journey, if you have to say, what should be their expectations from money, and what should be their expectations from their business? Ki like, okay, after this point they'll start getting money, and exactly what should they know about money that they don't know right now, and you are knowing and you wish to know at that time?
So my belief is, as you rightly said, idea अच्छा होगा तो आपको सक्सेस मिलेगा. आइडिया अच्छा होना जरूरी है. Then only you will have conviction to put value behind that idea. So most people have great ideas, but they don't put value behind that idea. So when I use the term value doesn't mean money alone. Value means your commitment, your conviction, and to sustain your conviction to make that idea work. And that takes a whole lot of you. That takes a whole lot of your investment, whole lot of your energy, time, understanding, exploration, research, and eventually executing it, which is the key area, and sustaining it. So I think that's how I would look at anybody doing business and building a business. And it's not a quick money scheme. Business is something that we understand over age and time, is that you do not create business to make money for yourself. You create business to make value for the people who use that business, that idea or business, right? Money will automatically follow for you. And that would be more than enough that you ever aspired for. But if you start looking at business that it will make money for you, I'm sorry, I think it may or may not work. So the way we look at our business, our wealth management business, the way we have worked from day one, I have been working, I have always looked at one thing: prosperity for my clients. If my client prospers, I am bound to prosper. And that's how I have worked. And that's what I would pass on to the young generations. Don't be in a hurry. Keep focusing on adding value to the idea and business that you want to build up, right? And don't feel that something has failed, so you can't get up again. You have all the time, age. What did you lose when you started? Nothing. And what did you came up with yourself when you came to earth? So why are you worried? Build up second, build up third. And you are young guys who can make India really proud and big. So my best wishes to all. And this is my genuine message to you. Don't aspire to earn money out of your business. It will follow.
A very strong message indeed, I must say. And I guess आज के date में तो it's very much needed, because we all are in that rush that okay, we have to make money early. We just need, like, because of social media. I highly blame social media for that, although we are doing this on social media. But again, keeping that on sideline, it's like social media has given us, like that eyes, that vision to see everything from a very real perspective. It shows us the reality, I feel. And I guess कहीं ना कहीं वो हमारे एक expectation भी set कर देता है, because we see so many finfluencers now, finance creators, so many influencers living that lavish life. So कहीं ना कहीं, as you rightly said, people want that business will make money for you, and not because they want to grow, but they want to have that lavish lifestyle that they saw on the reel of that creator कि हाँ, ये तो घूमने जा रहे हैं, ये तो मतलब brand endorsements कर रहे हैं with just one simple idea. So I guess it's very much, you have been in this in finance sector, you have been there for a very long time, and I mean a lot of awards, I must say, from MDRT awards, winning that thrice $1 Million Roundtable Award, and for being one of the top 50 financial consultants, and so many more things. Firstly, I want to know आप कैसे कर लेते हो ये सब? What's the how you do so much and yet be so humble and still have that attitude to learn so much more and to evolve and to adapt.
So I think young kids always feel somebody has done well, but somebody is doing well because he intends to do well, right? So I didn't do anything else. I did my work over 365 days, and that work sometimes was awarded and sometimes was not awarded. But we have a habit, or we are so used to only acknowledging awards, and maybe my good years were there that I got awards, and there were years that I didn't get awards. So whatever is my age, all years I haven't achieved the awards. So I would say yes, sometimes I did good, sometimes I did not, and that's the key message, that you keep doing good. I think a good work is always recognized, if not today, tomorrow. And good work will always create value for somebody else. So my focus has always been one, that let's create value for somebody who is trusting you with your work, and keep supporting them so that their value gets enhanced. Someday your awards will automatically follow, nothing big. I had an interest in reading. It is one of my hobbies. And that interest has been there from the time that I have been a student. Now, what reading becomes important, it keeps changing. while I was coaching students for MBA entrance, my reading patterns were little different. While I have been researching in terms of the financial services arena, my reading pattern has been different. But reading has been part of my journey. So just to answer one part of your question, and taking to the next step, how do I do it? I think you have to love what you do. So I love what I do, and that's how I do it. In terms of the way the changes are coming up in the financial industry, and they have been fast-paced changes over last 5-7 years, and I have been part of that journey. I feel very, very blessed that during this arena of change, where we had a situation where everything was based on a check, a form, to a journey, thanks or unfortunate COVID, that it went online. So I have been part of that journey, and we have reached a stage today that we may move to the next step where AI will bring something new, right? So yes, we have to keep updated. We have to go through this journey ourselves first. We have a philosophy, as you asked something, other philosophy that we follow is, I always invest my own money, my family's money, first into any kind of a product before I offer to my client. Now, this is something that I tell every client, and every client knows about it. So suppose you are my client tomorrow, and I have reached you and I have told you that this is a good product to move forward. 100% I am in it. My skin is in the game. And intent of being skin in the game, your distrust on a new financial advisor, because I'm coming to you first time, is आप मेरा परफॉर्मेंस, फंड का परफॉर्मेंस चेक करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे. सो मैं करूंगा, आपका करूंगा नहीं करूंगा, मेरा खुद का तो मैं करूंगा ही, राइट? इतना आप ट्रस्ट रख सकते हैं. एवरीबडी लव्स देयर ओन मनी, राइट? एंड दैट्स हाउ आई हैव बीन फॉलोइंग अ फिलॉसफी. So we are very, very clear. I don't do new products that come up in the market at all. People approach me. I say, sorry, you have not yet proved yourself. Once you prove yourself, then only I can go to somebody who trusts me, my client. Because for me, his or her prosperity is of paramount importance. My prosperity is much later. So this is the other philosophy we follow. And very importantly, as you rightly said, how do I pioneer through? We have to be part of the game. We have to keep updating ourselves. I spend close to 1.5 hours each day, including a Sunday, getting myself updated on things which are new as well as things which are old, right? Because finance is a complex area. So you have to keep updated, and you come up with a lot of things which we have learned earlier but have not used it in the recent days. So we go through it and we are able to bring it on to our clients. That's the way I deal with my clients.
Wow, amazing. Now, I want to understand, some things about your business and about your experience that has helped you, grow from the very first step. So, taking that thought only, the thing that I want to ask you is कि let's say आज मैं आपके पास आया, I have, let's say, completed my college. I've done everything, MBA, BBA, everything. I opened my own, let's say, not just any financial firm. I'm having some certain financial products. So मैं आपके पास आया कि sir, I have to I have got my very first client, and I want to ask to you for some advice कि okay sir, now what should be my very first steps? कि what should I do? Like let's say I have acquired the client and now I'm not knowing कि अब मुझे क्या करना है? What should be the next direction? Because the first thing was to acquiring client, for जिसके लिए मैं बहुत धक्के खा रहा था. Finally मुझे एक client मिला. Now what should be the next steps of mine in order to go in the right way? And आप क्या follow, and also if you can connect it with your steps कि आप क्या करते जब आप एक client को onboard करते हो, and what are the first steps that you take, and if you have to advise me, then what would that be?
So I think I personally very different from most of the companies is I do not believe in acquiring clients.
Okay.
Right? It is very important that we have clients who we become a part of their journey, right? Because they have this part called money. is a very sacred area. It's a very hard-earned area of one's life. You talk of anybody on earth, he or she, whatever may be their net worth, they would always believe money is a very sacred area of their part. They will not part with their wealth easily with you. So something that you don't part so easily, it has to be sacred, right? So I come from there. So I would not look at it like acquiring client. Onboarding, yes. So first important thing is the goal of a client.
Okay.
So when we talk of a journey called wealth creation, it has to start with a goal. आप अपनी wealth creation journey किस purpose के लिए शुरू करना चाह रहे हैं?
Okay.
Right? That's the topmost thing.
Okay.
Usually clients are lost. And if you push them twice, they will give some goal. Right? That goal is just to keep the advisor or stop the advisor asking the same question again and again. So there you have to help the client to really get to their goal. And you need to give some hints. So hints could be if the client, as you said, is young, then you have to tell him that you would like to be married soon and you would like to have some journey called having your own house or maybe a journey called a foreign vacation, etc., etc. Or if I really look at a long term, you may even be looking at someday you will retire. So when we looked at our journeys some 30 years back, when we came into the workforce, our retirement journeys were up to 60, 70. Now the retirement journey may get shorter moving forward, that people do much more and maybe they retire early, right? So you need to look at a retirement. So this is how we first try to reach out to their thought processes about a goal journey, which may or may not be enough in that meeting. And then we try to meet again where they have kind of thought over it, and then we try to create a financial plan. Now, my experience, most of the people are afraid of getting their financial plan written down. They're afraid. And we insist that if you really want to make it good and you are genuinely concerned about creating wealth for yourself and your family down the line, it is advisable to have a written financial plan. Now, is this a Gita of Mahabharata? No. Financial plan can keep changing. It can keep, you have to adopt to their life journey. So as I said, you don't acquire a client, you are part of a client. So you have to adopt to their life journey. So for example, when you started, that client you acquired was possibly doing a job. But maybe 5 years later, he started a startup and he became big. That financial plan that we made 5 years back is 100%, he's not worth a penny for him, right? So you have to be part of the journey of a client, and then you create a financial plan and try to keep that client engaged with the financial plan so that wealth gets created. So this is how we usually follow a path to onboard, as you said. We do all the regulatory requirement completion for the client, get them to a financial plan, get them onto a financial plan, and keep following them up to get to the path of financial plan journey that we have agreed mutually to take forward.
Oh, this conversation is getting interesting now, and at this point of time, I'll be honest, I'm having a lot of questions.
Go ahead.
To be very honest, because that's the thing about finance. It's very interesting, and I also feel that someone who has mastered this field, who has pioneered through this industry, he or she is having that great mentality of organizing things. Like I feel, because you have to manage your funds very well, you have to organize it, and you have to leverage it in such a way that you're also making profits, but you are also keeping your money in use, which is in return getting you more money. Basically, your money is making more money for you. That kind of framework. Also, let's say I have done this. I came to you as a wealth manager. I said, okay, so first client I have got, ye maine kiya. The client is happy, and at the end of the day, everyone is happy. So, okay. अब ये तो चलिए सर, दिस इज द फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस. नाउ आई से फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म आई वांट टू like keep that client with me, because no, not exactly for the finance industry, because again I'm a very, like, it's a very new industry for me. Though I am reading a few articles and I'm going through research papers, talking to people, it still, there are so many things to learn. And so if I like, so I want to know about this from you. Let's say that I want to, like, now keep the client for long term. I say, like, for, because this is what I've learned in our marketing class, that there are three ways you can keep a client when you are a content creator. That is, just do the bare minimum, just do the bare minimum properly, and the third, go and give a little bit extra effort. थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा करो, like बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं, कुछ नया, थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा effort डाल के. So that is our way of, like, keeping the client like with us for a long time, keeping a brand in our case for a long time. How is it in the finance industry कि अगर आपको अपने client को long term लेके चलना है, so कैसे करना होगा वो?
So as I said earlier, you have to be part of their journey. Correct? That's the first step. That's the mindset change that any financial advisor need to follow. Number two, when we talk of keeping a client for long term, right? So for us, it is not keeping a client for long term. For us, it is building their prosperity in the long term. And to build prosperity in the long term, we have to keep reviewing what they have already invested. And this has been a regular journey with all the clients that we do. We keep meeting them, engaging with them, not bothering them, right? We don't try to go there and sell product or services to them at all. But when we review, and we review it vis-a-vis their financial plan, we are able to bring up new things that they also get convinced that we need to have a little bit of path change and add more value for a wealth creation journey. So what happens at a particular time that we created the first financial plan, the market situation, the inflation situation, the geopolitical situation, the pace of the country's growth, the opportunities available in terms of investing products and services were very different. Then what is it that we are going through a journey of review? It comes up, right? So if I really look at beginning of 2000, people would go for FD and would not even know or not even trust something called mutual fund. I'll cut forward 2010-12, people started looking at reducing FD, moving and starting the journey called mutual fund, right? People started trusting private banks versus only those PSU banks or government banks. Cut forward to 2015, people started engaging into SIP, which is mutual fund. People started engaging and understanding that health insurance and life insurance is important for them. Cut 2018, people started looking at PMS, which is portfolio management services, where earlier it was a 25 lakh ticket size, now it is 50 lakh ticket size. Moving forward to 2019-20, people moved to alternate investment funds, where minimum ticket size is 1 CR. So as the world keeps on changing, as the economy keeps on changing, as the people's aspirations keeps on changing, as the globalization increases, products and services come up on the table, you need to keep engaging through the prosperity journey of your client and keep guiding them. The decision is always with the client, right? And that's how we look at trading through the whole journey. That is why I gave you a very quick snapshot of the way world is changing. Maybe 3 years later, when we do a podcast, we will talk of products which don't exist today at all.
True.
And neither I know nor you know, or nor most of the viewers know.
True, very true. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it, I'll say. And I guess for long term, I will be like, definitely my client would be very happy for sure that if I'm having that kind of approach. And I guess for all our listeners also who are aspiring to be in this field, this would be a very great way for you to, like, start your journey keeping this in mind. And plus you are getting it to learn from someone who is already have done so much and achieved so much. So yes, you are having an advantage if you're watching this. So Yes. And also, so let's say, like, okay, this is now we have also acquired a client. Now we have also on the path of keeping him on long term. Now business is going successful. We are having everything is going in the right direction. Now I get this one client and I want this, like, आप अगर इसमें अपना कोई personal story भी share कर सके, then that would be really amazing. So uh, let's say now I have got this client and he is a very, like, this client is the toughest that I have faced in my short career that I have had it, in my brief career that will be now going on for a long time, but right now it's the only beginning. अब ये क्लाइंट आ गए हैं, इनके पास है कुछ, लाइक, टू हैंडल हिज बिजनेस, टू अंडरस्टैंड हिज आइडियोलॉजीज, इट्स वेरी टफ फॉर मी. अब इट्स लाइक अ टेस्ट ऑफ ऑल माई स्किल्स, द टफेस्ट वन. सो ऐसे में इन सच सिचुएशन इफ आई एम, ऐसे कोई क्लाइंट आते हैं, what is the best way to handle it? And did you also had in your journey someone who was like, you know, like this client, you remember कि इनके साथ जब मैंने काम किया था, तब I had to use the best of my skills. I had to be very patient. I had to be the smartest. I had to be the, you know, most analytical person sitting in the room. और उस journey से आप बहुत सीखे हो. Was there any such journey? And if today, let's say, I as a wealth manager who has just done these initial few steps is now getting to deal with such a client, अब मुझे अगर अपनी जर्नी से कुछ वो ऐसे एडवाइस देना चाहो कि yeah, do this for sure, then what would that be?
Listen to the client.
Okay.
More and more you listen, more and more you understand the client. Because such clients who, in your opinion, are difficult because they feel they have more knowledge than the person who is sitting in front of them. And in that situation, in my opinion, based on my experience, I have always gone through one path called listen to them and listen more. Does that mean you keep silent? Sorry. You also need to intervene and sometimes give your opinions and not push your opinion on such clients. You may or may not retain the client. So I have never followed a model of greed. I have always followed a model of success for my client. If client believes in me, trusts me, only then I can tread through a path of walking or running a journey through the client, because I am not acquiring a client. So very importantly, until that kind of a comfort is achieved between my client and me or my company, we will not be able to walk more miles together. So yes, I have had clients, I have lost clients as well, but I would say our journeys were different. It's not about losing a client. It's about their expectation versus my approach of being a very comfortable treading through a journey of a client was not an acceptable model. Maybe their pace was faster than my pace, and I would salute and respect them for it. Right? Possible, because everybody's pace is different. So some people want quick money, fast money, quite fine. So they have their own comparison parameters. My approach may be a little different. So I respect them because that also teaches us. We also have to learn each day, and that also teaches us.
True.
But yes, we have had clients which have been such difficult. I have only learned through the journey. Listen. That's the one word answer.
Wow. I guess then though, if I can do a good job, because as a podcaster, I guess we can listen. So good job we can do in that. But yes. Okay, so now, great. Now I have learned this also, handle that client, and now I'm going in my journey. But now I think that okay, I have done 2-3 clients, and I have handled this tough situation as well. But now I want to market my firm. I want to more. I can get myself more clients, and my firm gets a bit more known among the business industry and in the finance network. So uske liye, like, right now everyone will say कि social media channels, marketing channels are the best. But as a person, like, as you said, like, you are not in a very big believer of using social media, and if I'm not wrong, you also mentioned that आप personally Instagram को उतना prefer नहीं करते. Instagram or LinkedIn, and also the high net worth individuals, they also don't go for that. So in such case, what is your like way of marketing? Like if not using social media, if not going through the conventional approach, this is because I think this is a very tricky thing. Financial products को sell करना is, I think, in my opinion, it's my belief that it's a very tricky thing. And जो ये कर लेता है, that is to like a totally great level of mindset he or she is having. So what is your, what do you do if you have to like market your firm? And let's say आज मैं आपसे कहूँ कि sir, now I want to get more clients, I want to increase my reach. What should I do? If not social media, then what should I do?
So, when we talk of a term called wealth management, term called financial services, I don't think it is a game of selling.
Okay.
It is a game of making people aware and making people aware about the way the world is moving in terms of the aspirations, expectations, and the future journey for which they have to create wealth for themselves and their family, right? So my usual approach is to conduct various seminars for people. I go around lot of networking organizations, lot of conferences, meet people, and usually you will find I'll have 3 to 4 meetings per day with people, and they are not about selling at all. They are more about meeting people, engaging with them, making them aware of the way the world in finance is moving. It's up to those 4 people. If anybody wants to engage back about asking more about what we want to do with their wealth, I am on, right? So I think my approach is little different. I do not keep targets. So I think if I have to acquire a client, then I need a target. If I want to be part of the journey, I have been ultra blessed. I would say I'm really thankful to my parents and Almighty that I have been blessed that my clients have always been so beautiful that I have been part of their personal journey as well. And so I think it's a happy moment to be doing business also and being part of such wonderful friends who so-called are clients, but I am part of their personal journey as well. Wow. So this is my way of doing my business. It may be very different from people who have a selling, product selling or target-based business. I don't do that. So I think I'm a misfit to answer your question in terms of the selling finance. Sorry.
Oh. Well, but I guess it would be right for me to say that trust building is the one of the core assets in growing. Wow.
I agree.
Wow. Perfect. Wow. So okay, so I have successfully started and I have had my financial firm set up now. Wow. And I have learned this, and this was basically this thing that I did. This exercise was mainly aimed to go through that journey and to make our listeners understand that how it is running a finance business from start to end, from scratch to end, and yes, how it is running and how to run it and how to go through different experiences. Now there are a lot of things that we can add up to it, but there are a few more things that I want to cover. So I guess for now this much is enough, and because there are a lot of things that I have planned for this conversation, and I want to now go towards some of the some preconceived notions of the finance industry that everyone is having, and I want to know your thoughts on that. So starting with that, the first thing that I want to know from you, sir, is that everyone is having मैं जब भी पूछता हूँ किसी से finance के बारे में कि let's say आपको finance में जाना है, so what is the best way to grow in students? Like in my friends group, all of them are having this perception कि या तो CA करो या तो CMA करो या तो फिर कुछ ऐसा करो like CFP, CMA, all those finance courses, या तो कुछ नहीं तो CA. And a lot of them, if I have to divide it in some ratio, 70% would say that CA is the only way to grow in finance, and अगर आप पहले CA करो फिर business खोलो फिर grow करो, that is the way. So do you think it is true, or there is a different angle towards it?
So my belief is education is a choice an individual makes in order to decide what career he or she intends to make forward.
Okay.
Right? So as you said, a commerce graduate would usually look at CA as a long-term path. But when I look at a science graduate, he or she would not even look at a CA path. So I would not generalize that 70% of people would look at CA followed by business. I would generalize in terms of people have a choice of doing education, and if they are blessed that they can move forward with the education, they should definitely take the education of choice as much possible in the initial stages of life, because that creates a much stronger foundation. So what it builds is a foundation in terms of the concepts, in terms of very basic things, that what could be the failure points that they learn while they go through the journey of education. And that helps them when they build their own businesses. Those learnings are carried forward. They are able to save time to build their businesses and build their businesses right. But there is no quick fix formula that you do this particular degree, so you will make this kind of a business. I think we have examples. People who have not even done education have made great businesses, and have had examples that people who have very, very good degrees are succumbed to EMIs when they lost their job, and they have even gone to a stage of suicide. So I would not call it that this particular path of education is the guaranteed way of success. Choose a path which is more palatable to you, and that will teach you certain things as foundations. That's how I look at it.
Also, sir, since you mentioned this, this thing just came into my mind. That is, like, we have throughout the conversation, we have talked about going through, like, choosing the right passion and, like, pursuing that only and taking that for long term. Now, let's say if I am, again, I'm a student, I come to you and I say, so I am interested in finance, and there are too many things, and I'm just confused that because I like this also. And now there are so many technological aspects also in finance, like blockchain and digital payments and everything. So there is so much to choose from, and I'm liking multiple things. So how can I determine? And I'm also like, I'm having an interest for it. I'm learning about it, and some way I'm figuring out, yeah, I'm good at, like, like 2 3 things I'm liking, and I think that I can be good at it. So if I have to, but I want to, like, don't get myself so much, like, distributed. I want to focus on one thing and I want to build on that. So if you have to suggest me कि I want to, like, how can I choose, मेरे को क्या करना चाहिए, what should I take, because I can, मेरी ideology के हिसाब से I can just take only one thing. Now, should I take multiple things, and should I take that risk and learn multiple things, or should I just, like, सबकी knowledge रखो, basic awareness रखो, but expertise should be in just one thing. So what's your take on that?
So eventually you have to be an expert on one thing.
Okay.
You will be recognized for your expertise on one thing, right? So primarily, until you have a core capability in a particular area, you can't scale. That's true for everybody, right? Now, how to choose? The shortest way to do is have short internships, have short certificate courses that you can attempt. Most of the times I have observed in young generation, people are not ready to invest money on short certificate courses. I think it has been a blessing for this generation that such certificate courses are so easily available to you, so easily accessible to you at such prices that is unbelievable, right? But they would still go for a free content. And still they want a decision to come in their life and career, which is a long-term career. So my very, very genuine and humble advice to young generation is, please choose a course. If somebody is asking a price, pay for it. Go through it, learn that journey, and decide, can you or can you not, right? Free content is welcome. But post-payment free content is more welcome, because you'll be able to appreciate the difference between the two. That's one aspect of it. Do you have enough time and patience to do it? It's about how much time you have on hand. Ideally, while you are in college, through your education, if you are able to explore this, nothing like it. But once you are part of a workforce, it becomes relatively difficult to do multiple option check. because you have to deliver at your workplace as well. So my belief is do it early, better it is. That's true for wealth management as well. Start from the day you earn your first rupee, right? Start investing, and that's exactly happens to your education. So start exploring what you want to do from the day you get into your graduation course, and that will help you all life to really achieve what you like the most.
This line that you say, that start from the day you get your first rupee. I guess I'll be putting this like, on Instagram, we have this post kind of thing that we keep when we post the episode, we keep the guest picture and we state one quote that has been mentioned in the whole conversation. Now, most likely, I try to take the best learnings for the viewers, but I guess this one that you said, personally, I feel very inspired from this. It's very unique, it's very catchy, and it's, I guess, very much applicable also because, like, nowadays, this I very much agree upon because I have had that, thankfully, I'll say, with the right. Maybe I was a bit lucky over here, I'll say, that my parents were supportive. I was a bit lucky. I got exposed to some of the internships. It helped me a lot to see industry from different lens. But yeah, I completely agree with you on this. And to all my listeners, I'll suggest, if you want, please replay this part. You will, and do follow it, because I guess in today's day and age, working is the right way to identify, to get into the workforce. Wow, it's getting more interesting now. And yes, also now, since I have mentioned about the technological aspect, I want to know this from you, that as we discussed before the podcast as well, that there are so many, like, new technological digital products, digital finance products are coming out in the market, and AI is also like growing day by day. Although that is a very, that AI is something that will take a few decades to grow. But do you think that in the coming time, let's say for all the Gen Zs and for the Gen Alphas, do you think that artificial intelligence, AI assistants, and the digital products would play a great role in their wealth management journey, and would they be working alongside them, or would again there is a new perspective to it?
So I'll take back again to a little 25 years back.
Okay.
We faced a journey in our lives when probably we were your age, that we had internet coming in, right? And there was a catch line that when internet comes, most people, youngsters would lose their job.
Okay.
Right? So why I'm speaking this, because that's exactly what's happening right now when we perceive AI. And internet created a whole new lot of opportunities for the world. And India has been one of the greatest success stories in the field of IT, which was because of that Y2K kind of a thing, if you were even born then, So I think I would really look at a journey of AI, if not similar, but it would add great value to the next generation.
Okay.
It's never going to be something that's going to hurt. It's going to be value add. It's going to add a great new horizon to all kind of businesses, including a journey of wealth. So in terms of today, what happens that if I have to analyze a financial data, it requires a good amount of time to analyze the financial data. And we usually in our generation talk about, भाई कोई मुझे कभी पैसे देता था तो एक चेक देता था, वो चेक की हम एक स्लिप भरते थे, चेक पिन अप करते थे, बैंक जाते थे, वहां जमा करते थे, 2 दिन बाद हमारे अकाउंट में पैसा आता था, फिर पासबुक भरवाने जाते थे और वो देखते थे कि वो आया या नहीं आया, फिर हम उसको माल भेजते थे, right? So this is the journey we had, and today the journey is, while I am on the go, my car, the driver is driving my car, I am sitting behind, and you make a call, was this payment if done now, goods will be dispatched in next 1 hour, and payment is done in 5 minutes. I'm saying 5 minutes. but maybe in a minute, right? And goods are dispatched. So the journey has been an supportive journey, right? Same would be a situation of AI. So when I talked about analyzing a data for financial products, services in terms of their history, I have to go through one by one, maybe, or maybe compare two or three. AI would make it better that I'll be having a clean spreadsheet of maybe 100 products in front of me in a jiffy, and maybe, excuse me, a decision making for a financial advisor and a client becomes more transparent, more faster, more easier, right? So I would really look at AI as a good future, a good value add, not a fear. That's my take on AI. And I have been always supportive of new things coming in, because I have in my journey of life always seen all new things. If I remember when we were school kids, we had fans, no coolers, no air conditioners, right? AC added value to us, though it has hurt the environment, but it has increased my efficiency in a day. In a hot summer where my city scorches at 48, 47 degree centigrade, a fan is not enough. So anything that comes in will have its own small disadvantages, but will have advantages as well. So that's how I look at as a perspective on AI or take on AI.
Wow. That's a very positive way to look at it, and that's, I guess, that's very much true, because nowadays we are using AI in almost everything, and we are like working with it, not working for it, and not even working, like, and it's not like AI is working against us and is on the has having that intent, because it's not having that kind of development only, and plus it's made as a tool that is to help humanity, in my opinion. And yes, but one thing that I have always seen with the finance industry is that everyone think of it as something risky. Like जब भी हम सोचते हैं कि हम finance में जाएंगे, हम stock market में जाएंगे, investment, anything related, remotely related to finance even, there's this risk of losing money. कि like, and people do, like in any business, I'm sure आपके साथ भी होगा कि sometimes at some point of time you must have lost some money, and money loss is, I guess, it's constant. It's something that will happen, as in business you've lost, business भी loss देखता है, companies भी loss देखते हैं, everyone goes through loss. So if someone, let's say, आज मैं आपके पास आया and I said कि so we have faced this huge loss, and I don't know what to do now. Will I be able to continue this business? Will I be not able to continue this business? And if I have faced this loss now, what should I do? What should be my next steps? Because I have literally, like, this is a very big loss, and it has, like, affected my pocket a lot. So in such cases, what should be the best approach? Like, if you are going through losses, and if you have to, let's say, in general, handle losses, money loss, any such sort of business, what should be the general approach? If you can also share, like, from your personal experience, what should be the best
So it's a
approach?
loss in business, loss in investment.
It's a loss in. I'll take the business perspective over here, because I guess a lot of majority of our viewers are looking to learn about business. So, from business perspective.
So if you have had a loss,
Hmm.
I think I have to first give a good shoulder to that person.
True.
That's the very first step that I have to offer. Once that person is settled, I need to understand what best solutions we can bring on the table that could possibly A, revive, B, shut. Right? So I think that decision has to come as an option. Never be emotionally attached to your business. Very important. Right? So I think you're doing a business. You should, the day you started business, you had already embraced a term called risk, though you got into the business to earn returns. Correct? So once you have embraced risk, it's part of your journey, and risk has been averse. So be open to shut if you can't revive it. So I think it is about being more analytical, less emotional, and then talking on a table will become easy. Which direction to go, revive or shut?
Also there's this, like two concepts, two perspectives there are in the market, in the students community especially, that either you focus on one thing, that is, and it's not just to restricted to students but business people also, that either you're focused to one thing, or you don't put your eggs in your all your eggs in one basket and you diversify a lot. So in such case, like let's say today I have kept my all my money in one business, only in one business. There are two cases. Like today I have kept my money all in one business, all in my finance firm, and my other one friend of mine, he has diversified his business and he has allocated funds to multiple ventures, and so that if he ever faces loss, he can procure money, and he can like get the law he can have that recovery funds and emergency funds with him for that instance. So what do you think is a much more efficient approach, focusing over one business or diversifying?
So I'll philosophically put it, and with all due respect to what I am saying, I have one set of parents. I focus on one set of parents, and they are the best parents that I could ever have. I have one wife. I focus on one wife, but I can have multiple children, right? So, as you said, what do you focus on? I'll focus on my core business. But once my business has grown sizable, I have achieved a particular benchmark, I should be open to branch out and diversify. So if I really look back to any of the big conglomerates, they would always be known by one business initially. And then eventually, after a while, once they have settled in that business and grown to size, then they go into multiple businesses. And that's how I would advise anybody to be doing. Because if you don't focus on core and don't build to size, you will be lost. Right?
True.
Each business requires your 200% attention, time, energy, money. And if you do that well, future diversifications are very easy and comfortable.
Wow. And oh, that's something interesting that I learned today. One of the key learnings that I guess I'll be taking forward now. And right now, I also want to know from you that there are a lot of mistakes that businesses make when they are managing their newly found wealth. When they have like, let's say today, I again my firm, it has got some really great profits. Now I have this, like, it's known, everyone is talking about it, and now I have found this newly found wealth is with me. Now I'm super excited. Okay, now although I am someone who's working in the financial field, but again I'm new to it, and somehow, with by God's grace, at a very early stage, I got this newly found wealth. So now what should be like? How should I be managing it? Like there are sometimes like there are business, like I read about this BCG matrix, where I that whole ideology was very interesting. Like some businesses are classified as dogs, some as cash cows, some as stars, and some as question marks. So that connection between industry and profits, that was very interesting. But I think that sometimes this changes very drastically, because businesses, once they reach at the top now, sometimes I guess founders think that now they have this newly found wealth, they just get very overwhelmed, and they like now either they'll spend too much, either they'll invest in some everywhere, and that will be reason for loss. So in such cases, if you have to say to new business people who have just got their newfound wealth, how should they be managing it as managers, wealth
So I
managers?
would say, if you have the wherewithal
Hmm.
and you have been blessed with great profit, great money,
Hmm.
Ma Lakshmi is kind on you, learn to manage greed.
Okay.
So if you are able to manage greed, you are able to create huge wealth tomorrow. Because wealth creation is a lazy people's journey.
Hmm.
वेल्थ सेज आप रख दो और भूल जाओ,
Hmm.
तभी आपकी वेल्थ बनेगी. अगर आप उसको रोज हैरान करोगे तो वो चली जाएगी. सो what I have learned in my journey of 30 years actively into my working life is, so my friends know very well that I have only one path of investing. I never sell. But before investing, I do lot of research. I do lot of hard work. That does not mean I don't review during the journey. I do review, and there have been companies which have shut over 30 years journey, and there have been my investments that have gone zero also in those. So so those were my learnings. As you said, mistakes, those were my learnings. So you have to be more alert. But very importantly, my wealth got created, or my clients' wealth got created, who did right investing and stayed there long, right? They did not, they had full control on their greed, and they have made huge wealth. And they have actually grown multiple times. Whether it was a volatile time, whether it was a positive or a negative hour of the marketplace, they have created big wealth over a period of time.
Wow. Amazing. And yes, I guess there's so many things to learn from this conversation, and I'm having so many more questions now, but I guess we'll have to respect time now, because throughout my journey, one thing that I've learned is that always respect time.
Absolutely.
So with that, we are at the end of this podcast. Before going, a few things I want to ask you. That is, firstly, I want to know about you, about Amit sir, about someone who is apart from being a businessman. Like, I want to know who are you as a person, not the one who is having, like all his business knowledge, all his success, but but the real Amit sir. Who is he?
Oh, a very difficult question because it is always difficult to answer who you are, because you keep exploring who you are. But to make it simple, I love to have fun in life. I am a hardcore family person who loves freedom at work, at home, and enjoy living with my family, spend time with them, read and learn more each passing day, read and learn wherever I get an opportunity, engage with more and more people. I go to social functions, social gatherings, uh, meet new people, and that gives me a lot of happiness. I love spirituality. I love to travel a lot. So it has been something that I have been doing for years now. I have multiple vacations in a year. So a lot of people say, यार तुम पैसे बहुत खर्च करते हो. तो मैं कह रहा हूँ ये पैसे खर्च नहीं करता. I invest in myself.
Wow.
Because when you travel, you learn much more than what you read from your books and interaction with people. So we explore new places. There is a journey on earth which I want to enjoy fully, and when I am gone, at least few people remember me. कोई ऐसा था जो जिंदगी जीता था. So that's how Amit Agarwal is.
Wow. I was like, no, like honestly, sir, this has been a very inspiring conversation for me. Today, I saw finance from a more philosophical way, in a more philosophical way, along with the technicalities and everything. And today, again, this conversation particularly helped me look towards this industry in a much more new way, in a much more efficient way. And I guess going forward in my career, what I have learned today would be helping me grow. And yes, with that being said, we are at the end of this podcast. Before going, any message for our audience, for our listeners?
Easy now, hard later. Hard now, easy later. So work hard now. As much as you work hard, as much hard money you put in for creating your wealth, it will be much easier tomorrow. Because tomorrow is not going to be as easy as you perceive today. You are going to grow old. We are growing old. And as you grow older, less people are around you, less work is around you, more money is with you. So I think if you work hard now, don't take it easy now, work hard now, invest more now, It will create great wealth for you tomorrow. That's my message for all the viewers.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for coming up on this podcast. It was a great pleasure having you. And yes, honestly, I learned a lot from you today. I learned about finance. I learned about this industry, and I hope that my listeners did too. And on that note, we are ending this wonderful conversation, which, to be very honest, I didn't want to end because now I'm having even more questions for you. And yes, I guess we'll be needing one more episode to cover up everything. But yes, thank you so much, sir, for coming up on our podcast. It was an amazing time that we had. It was a lovely talking to you, and yes, we hope you the best. We wish you the best. And yes, with that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in. This is your host and host Apoorv Jha. I'll meet you guys in the next episode. Till that, see you all. Till that, signing. Bye everyone.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, friends.